manai sheverakim gam yachad hine matovu manai sheverakim gam yachad hine matovu manai sheverakim gam yachad hine matovu manai sheverakim gam yachad hine Mocha Bahilim Adonai Mikamocha Nehedar Bakodesh Lo Ra Tehilot Osef Eleh Lo Ra Tehilot Osef Michamocha Baelim Adonai Mikamocha Nehedar Bakodesh Lo Ra Tehilot Osef Eleh Lo Ra Tehilot.
Come on in, everyone. Grab a prayer book, find a seat. Well, you got so quiet so quickly. You don't have to be quiet quite yet. Well, schmooze, talk amongst yourselves just for a moment. What if we began with this and ended with this?
It's fun. A lot easier. I don't know. It's funny because I don't know if my fingers will be as nimble.
Always close with both.
Okay. I know we going up high? Do you want to go to 3? Just coming for a second round.
My friend.
Okay. High or no?
Let me just see. Maybe a capo 2.
Getting fancy. She's getting fancy tonight. She's getting fancy. Super
That's capo
fancy.
3.
Can't even.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Making my hand shake.
All right, friends.
Really? Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So, welcome everyone. We're so glad you're here celebrating Shabbat with us tonight. You all are spread out in a super weird way, so we will do our best
Yeah,
to
if we were
try
a
and
plane,
talk to
we would not be
everyone.
balanced.
But welcome. We're glad you're here. We are one community, even if we're spread out on all sides. So we're going to start tonight with a song that is not in the Siddur. Don't want to freak you out, but the words are very easy. They're Olam Chesed Yibaneh. It just means I will build this world. So if you'd like to try with us, Olam means world, Chesed is kindness, and Yibaneh means I will build. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. Olam Chesed. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. I will build this world. I will build this world from love. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. And you will build. And you will build this world from love. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. And if we build, and if we build this world from love, yadadai, 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 God will build. Then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. Beautiful. So tonight is one of those Shabbats where there is a lot happening on the Jewish calendar. We are getting ready to celebrate Tu B'Shvat, which is the New Year of the Trees. Tonight is a special Shabbat called Shabbat Shira, the Sabbath of Song, because this is where we read the Song of the Sea. But most important, on this Shabbat, Drew Schanfeld is becoming
Drew
Bar
Schanfeld.
Mitzvah. Woo, Drew Schanfeld. So,
He's sitting in the front.
honor of that moment, it is my pleasure to invite up his uncle, Jimmy, but also Drew's going to help him with our candle lighting and Kiddush and Motzi, which can be found in the beginning of your prayer books on page 2. All right, so we're going to do lighting first and then say the blessing. All right, so first, this is like this, kind of bizarre. It's more like a lightsaber. Page 2. I'll do it with you. You just click the tab button. Okay. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. All right, so we're going to lift up our Kiddush cup. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Awesome. You have to take a sip, it doesn't count. This is grape juice anyway. All right, and then our challah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. All right, take a little bite. Drew, excellent helping. All right, nicely done. Easier than you thought. So one of the teachings in Judaism says that when we come together to celebrate Shabbat, that it's as if angels come into our presence every week. And so there's a song that we sing welcoming in those Shabbat angels. It's called Shalom Aleichem, and it can be found on page 24. So join us if you'd like.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. On the bottom of 27, it says, entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. And we ask you, if you will, to please rise and join in the call to worship on page 28. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Continue on page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
We read responsively on the bottom of 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than the holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form?
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
And we join in Shema on page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta
et Adonai Elohecha
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. I said in the beginning of the service that one of the names for this special Shabbat is Shabbat Shira, the Sabbath of Song. And the reason that it's called that is that in this week's Torah portion, Moses and Aaron and Miriam and the Israelites, they sing a song as they are escaping from slavery, as they are leaving Egypt with Pharaoh's army marching behind them. And the words that they sing are on page 40. We sing them every time we come together in services, always hearkening back to this very portion that Drew is going to chant from tomorrow. And while we don't know the exact tune that they sang, we know that these are the words they said, that they offered words expressing that they could not believe that there was a God as wonderful and powerful as our God could be, who can make miracles happen. And so because we're always still praying for miracles in our own day, we repeat their words, and on page 40, sing the Michamocha in our own day. Michamocha, God, who is like you that makes miracles happen. We always follow these words, Michamocha, in our evening service by reminding ourselves that even though sometimes miracles happen, we also need to be able to find ways to find protection ourselves. And so we follow the words of Michamocha with Hashkivenu on page 42, asking God wherever our freedom may take us to make sure that we still have that sukkot, that sukkah of protection over us, guarding us wherever we may go. So we can sing these words with Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom.
Yashkevenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. So I know that in our sanctuary tonight, we have friends who are here every single time we come together. We have others who may not have been here in a while. And there are some folks here who this may be your first time, or maybe it's your first time in a long time. And I say this because I want you to know that this next part of our service, whoever you are, is actually for you. Because when we go to page 46, which is tefillah, tefillah means the prayer. And this prayer is the most central part of our service. But when the rabbis of Jewish tradition put this prayer in the service, they knew that there would be days when there would be people in the sanctuary who did not know Hebrew, who did not know the tune, who did not know the words, or maybe who knew the words and knew the tune, and they just didn't feel like the right prayer for that night. They put this prayer in here for you and for all of us. Because at this time, when we say this prayer, we'll ask you to all rise together. But if these are the words that speak to your heart and you know them, then you are invited to say them along with us. But if not, this is the time to offer whatever prayer is in your heart, silently or in whatever language speaks to you. I'll ask you, though, to please rise. And if you do feel like joining with us, we'll sing together. Adonai sefatai tiftach Ufi agita ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotzeinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol atah Rav LaHoshia. Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim. Somech Noflim Ve'ofech Olim, Umatir Asurim. Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot umidom melach, melech memit umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lechayot hakom. Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei HaKol.
Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence like lightning illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. And we'll turn now to page 60 to offer a prayer for peace with the words of Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Yatau Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. So we know that there's so many different reasons that people come to services, but one of them is often because people are here praying for someone who is in need of healing. So if there's someone who you're thinking of tonight who could use a healing prayer and who would appreciate knowing that their names were shared in this space, I would invite you to share them now. We're thinking too tonight of Eric Ash and Carl Greenberg, of Amy Lampert and Nathan Levinson, Alice Ledmer and Drew, of Joanne Phillips and Marilyn Schlitter, of Kennedy Smith and Harriet Snyder, of Lacey Weinstein, and of Leslie and of David. So thinking of each of them and all of those who are offering prayers in our hearts for. On page 253, we offer a healing prayer. So before I start, I just have to say I was feeling a little bit guilty that Rabbi Michael and I did not choose a special song for Shabbat Shira, But Evie, girl, that is
Thank
what
you very
Shabbat
much.
Shira is supposed to sound like. That was so beautiful. So thank you. I hope you come and sing every week. It was the best. So like I said, tonight's Shabbat Shira. It's also Tu B'Shvat coming up, the New Year of the Trees. But it also happens to be, and Stephen and Owen, I hope you will not take any offense of this, but this week is kind of the best Torah portion for a bar mitzvah that ever there was. I promise you guys also have good ones coming up, but Drew's is kind of the best because this week's Torah portion is where it all happens. In this week's Torah portion, this is the moment where the seas part and finally the Israelites go to freedom. And it's such a cool part of the Torah that it actually looks totally different than any other part of the Torah. So following our service tonight, Rabbi Michael is going to be here with our group from Greenville, and I'm sure he's going to show you this section of the Torah. You can also, if you want, tomorrow Drew's bar mitzvah, come to the bar mitzvah. Sorry, I'm inviting everyone to your bar mitzvah. Or you could just watch online so you can see just how amazing this one section of the Torah looks, because it is totally different. And it's this wonderful story because it's such an exciting moment of what happens to the Jewish people where they're finally going to go to freedom. And then at the very end of the Torah portion, there's another super cool part. It's not quite as positive, but still it does turn out where Amalek, who is like the arch villain of the Jewish people, where he comes and he's fighting the Jewish people. So you've got this amazing adventure in the beginning and this amazing adventure in the end. And in the middle of it, it's a little bit boring. It's a little bit boring. So we didn't even study the middle part. But the middle part, actually, even though it doesn't have all of the drama of the sea parting, it doesn't have all of the drama of the big bad guy coming to get the Jewish people, there's still a little bit of coolness, even in sort of the humdrum of everyday life. You see, once the Israelites finally are marching their way through the desert, trying to get to the promised land, they realize that even though they did such a great job of leaving quickly and having no time, that the only food that they were able to have was they didn't let their bread rise for more than 18 minutes, so it turned into matzah. Excellent. Good. This is going to be a participation night, so get to be on your toes. Okay, so it turned into matzah, but all they had with them was matzah, which is not very nutritious. And so they reach this point where they realize they don't have enough to eat. So God says, don't worry, I'm going to provide for you manna from heaven. Now, even if you don't know this story, you may have heard the phrase manna from heaven before, that it's this miraculous thing that God provided food that fell from the sky. We're told that it was kind of white and fluffy, that it tasted like coriander. I don't actually know what that means it tasted like, but somehow it tasted like coriander. And the amazing thing about this manna from heaven was that when the people would go out and collect the manna, it didn't matter if they collected just a little bit or if they collected a lot of it, it would be the exact right amount that they needed. It was so magical in that way that God said, you don't even have to go out and collect it on Shabbat because you will have enough to eat on Shabbat, so you don't have to work on Shabbat. The manna is going to be there for you, ready to be eaten. And then God says, the manna is a test for the Jewish people. Okay, participation time. So the rabbis have this huge question. What exactly is the test of the Jewish people that this manna is supposed to be? By the way, there's no right answer. So anything you say could be right. Does anyone have an idea? What do you think it is? Ella, yes. Ooh, don't be greedy. Beautiful. I love it. Don't be greedy. Yes. Evie, I love that. Absolutely. The answer is always be nice. So yes. Don't be greedy, be nice. Anyone else think they know what the test could have possibly been? Beautiful. So you have to actually believe that it's going to come the next day. You have to have faith. Beautiful. Believe in God that God will provide. All right, so you all are actually totally in agreement with our friend Rashi. So Rashi is one of the great rabbis of all times. He's from around 1000 CE. And Rashi said, yes, it is a question of faith. It is a question of having belief, both that God will provide and, Evie, that people will be nice to you and that you shouldn't be greedy. What Rashi says is the test here is knowing that actually you're not going to have to go out and collect more, because you know that not only is God going to provide for you, but that if for some reason you don't have enough, that your neighbors also will be nice to you. So don't be greedy, be kind to your neighbors. So that's what Rashi says. But he's not the only one who has an answer. There's lots of them. I'm just giving you my top ones. One of our other great rabbi teachers, Ramban, also known as Nachmanides, what Nachmanides said is actually the test of the manna is that after a while, the taste of manna would get super, super boring. Have you ever had a food that you ate a lot and you really, really liked it, and one day you were just like, I'm done? By the way, I'm just going to poke fun at Rabbi Michael because he totally knew this was coming. Rabbi Michael and her son Jonah do the same thing, is that they will get like really into a food, like frozen waffles or something like that, and they'll have it like every single day, and then suddenly like done. And we have a lifetime supply of frozen waffles. But that's exactly what Ramban also thought would happen, that at some point, the Jewish people would get so sick of the taste of manna because it was the same thing, coriander, whatever that is, every single day, and that the test was going to be, would they be okay actually eating the same thing every day, just knowing that at least they were provided for, at least they had food in their tummies, or somehow was it going to make them behave badly? The last answer comes from another rabbi whose name is Sforno. And what Sforno said is he thought the real test of the manna was that, remember that the Israelites, really all they're doing is just walking through the desert to the promised land. They don't really, they're not farming or anything, they're just walking through. So what Sforno said is once they have no jobs to do, they don't have to work to get food of any kind, they will have all of this free time. What will they do with themselves? I used to have this shirt. One of our members actually had this wonderful shirt, and it said on it, now that we have everything, what are we going to do? I actually complimented her on this shirt, and she was so nice. She literally gave me the shirt off her back. I mean, she waited until she had another shirt on, but she gave me this shirt, and I loved it so much. And it makes me think of Sforno, this idea of saying, they have everything. They don't have to work. What will they do with their free time, and will they use it for something good and something positive? So we don't know actually what the right answer is. We don't know what the test is. What we do know is that whatever the test is, the Israelites failed it. We know that, in fact, if it was what each of you suggested, and it's really a test of faith, we know that they did not have the faith in God. They did not have the faith in their neighbors because they kept going out, and they would actually go and they would try and gather the manna on Shabbat, or they would get too much of it and the manna would just like rot in place immediately if they got too much of it. They did not have faith. We also know that if, in fact, the test was that they were going to get bored with the taste of it, we know they got really bored with the taste of it, and they started complaining. And they kept being like, oh, we wish we could go back to Egypt because even though we were slaves, they had cucumbers and leeks there, which is like such a pathetic thing to complain about. But they did because they were so sick of the manna, and they ended up complaining, just wanted the better food in Egypt. And if, in fact, like Sforno said, really the test was what will they do in their free time, I'm going to give a little spoiler for those of you who will not be here next week. What happens next week is they find something to do with their free time, they get a little nervous, they have a party, they take off all their gold jewelry, and they build a big baby cow made out of gold. Next week is the golden calf. Yes, so they do not do good things in their free time. They go and they build an idol. Whatever the test of the manna was, they failed. Okay. Now I realize none of us are experiencing manna from heaven. But there is a lesson here, I think, from us. In the beginning of the Torah portion, in the moment when the Israelites are escaping from slavery and they have this big dramatic moment and it's so exciting, they are awesome. They are at their best and they are doing the right thing and they are following their leader and they are following God's plans. And also at the end of Torah portion where Amalek, the big bad guy of the Jewish people, is there, they're helping Moses and they're doing their best. It's only in the middle when things are just kind of like every day that they mess it up. And what I'd like to suggest is that I know that right now, in history, in America, in Jewish history, it feels like there's a lot of big moments. Like every single day feels like there are really big moments, and we're looking at it in the news and on the newspaper, and we're reading about it on social media, and it feels like there are all these big moments, and we're really good at the big moments, and we know how to fight, and we know how to make our voices heard for the causes that really counts. But are we quite as good when it's just sort of everyday miracles? Do we still remember every day when we turn the TV off? And when we look away from our screens, do we actually remember what it takes to be someone who is a person of faith? To be someone who doesn't get so easily bored that they long for worse things? Can we be the kind of people who understand that if we have time to spare, that we should be doing something that is holy and something that is meaningful? So may we, like the Israelites, may we find that those little miracles, whether it's manna from heaven or just those small moments where it feels like Pharaoh's army is not chasing after us and there's not some big bad guy that we have to fight, but we just are getting up and living every day, may we find that in those moments as well, we can be equally holy. Shabbat Shalom. So I'll ask you, if you will, now to please rise, and we're going to turn to the Aleinu on the bottom of page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
On the top of 287.
May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the Son, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
So even though so many of us are here for a time of joy, we know also that there are those who are with us here tonight or who are watching over the live stream who are here because they're honoring a loss in their lives. And so we recall with love the names of those taken from us in recent days, and our hearts go out to their families in sympathy as we recall their names: Sarah Jane Freeman, Floyd Mitleiter, Craig Schultz, David Smith, and Daniel Van Kutren. And we now recall the names of those, the anniversary of whose death occurs on the Shabbat, and whose names have been inscribed in the archives of our congregation or on the Wall of Honor for perpetual memorial: Leonard Adrian, Lillian Allen, Ferdinand Bach, Lucille Kalish Bear, Fanny Sanders Berger, Bernard Bloom, Grace Brickman, Samuel Bridge, Pam Brinkmeyer, Jeanette Charnas, Lynn Cole, Molly Kotler, Dr. Arnold Dankner, Melvin DeGroot, Shirley Drolick, Jules Dubinsky, Eva Engel, Henry Epstein, S. Lester Feldman, Arthur Fischel, Myron Fisher, Sophie Littman-Freund, Susan Fry, Clara Fuchs, Irene Gall, Helen Stone Gelfand, Faye Gerber, Solon Gershman, Manuel Goldberg, Robert Goldenhirsch, Virginia Goldman, Ruth Goldstein, Hortense Goodman-Cohn, Martin Handler, Ella Hartman, Emil Hartman, Emma Hesse Isselbacher, Leopold Isselbacher, Mendel Jacobson, Lillian Jossam, Mary Jane Kirstner, Joe Kottman, Irene Appel Lederman, Marie Bear Littman, Anna Manny, Herbert Marples, Stanley Michelson, Jeanette Fuller Miller, Gussie Harris Nathan, Fanny Naiman, Velva Parrish, Devin Perryman, Magnus F. Polson, Ina Rainey, Milton Rimmel, Jay Rosenberg, Bernard Rosenblum, Geraldine Gigi Rubenstein, Vida Sachs, Barrett Scallett, Bess Brand Schneider, Dr. W. Lewis Shukot, Alvin Shukart, Joseph Silversmith, Carl Joseph Snyder, Bernard Spiegel, Charles Steinberg, Alfred Freundsteiner, Earl Sussman, Ray Weil, Alberta J. Weiss, Tess B. Warner, Samuel S. M. Weisbart, Nancy Klein Wolfheim, and Lucille Olean Yellen. So with these names and the names we keep in our hearts, we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'olam u'omei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudisha b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved. And together we say, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru. Amen. Please be seated. So a few closing announcements. First, this Sunday, we have a few different things happening at Temple Israel. First, we have L'Dor V'Dor, which is a grandparents gathering. This is an opportunity to come together if you are a grandparent and just talk about what it is like. Grandparenting Jewish grandchildren, non-Jewish grandchildren, however that's working out for you. It's really just a lovely place to be able to have a conversation about what that feels like. Also, at the same time, in here, we're having a discussion about the book Uncomfortable Conversations with a Jew. We're very lucky that that Rachel, who is essentially the editor of the book, is going to be here to lead that discussion for us. So if you want to join us for that, registration is closed. But you can just email me and I'll let you in. So we would love to have you if you want to. It's going to be a really neat event, and it's one of 3 that we are having. And then last but not least, for our group from Greenville who are here tonight, we're so glad you're here. We always love having Greenville University. When the service ends, we'll invite you to take just a short break to use restrooms out that door or out that door, and then come back into this space so that Rabbi Michael can do a tour for you. And since you all did pretty well in the opening song, but not like amazingly well, we're going to sing it one more time. We're going to make it a closing song. It's Shabbat Shira. You're going to be singing. Okay. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Go higher.
By the end of the
All right,
service,
end on a high note.
my voice is high. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadadai. I will build this world from love. I will build this world from love. Yadadai, 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 and you will build, and you will build this world from love. Yadadai, 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 and if we build this world from love, yadadai, 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 God will build. Then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, 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 yadadai. Shabbat shalom, everyone.